Greetings and welcome. Here we are, Tarot for today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee, and this is Oberon with the outlook on the emotional exchanges. We're going to get right with it with an opening affirmation from the Universal Love Oracle, which I use nearly all the time, by Tony Carmine Salernos. So let's get that right now. How is everybody? Expectancy. Something you've been hoping for may not come about as you had expected. Observe the image on this card. Allow its energy to fill you. Know you are being filled with the infinite power of love. Fixed expectations are preventing something far more beautiful from entering your life. Surrender and trust. Something beyond what you could ever possibly imagine will manifest soon. So that's a nice opening affirmation for us. You know, when you think about the possibilities that are with love, with relationships, with emotional bonding, the source of this show, then you have to put aside assumptions to some degree, because it is what it will be. Like the classic song says, if you're not with the one you love, love the one you're with. All right, so my reading for the signs of the zodiac, starting with Aries, is about to begin. I pulled two cards from the Barbieri Tarot, which I will show in a moment. And the top card for each sign represents that vibe of emotionality or expectancy for the week. And then the bottom card is whether or not you will actually be lucky in love, however you wish to define that. Let's just say emotionally well-being. All right, so we're going to start with Aries, as I mentioned. And these readings are good for Sun, Moon, and Rising. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is the vibration for the week? What is the loving feel or not? That's the Two of Cups. This is a very harmonious kind of sign for Aries. You seem to be able to work and trust in any number of different kinds of partnerships that may be available to you or accessible to you. So will you be lucky in love? And it's Temperance. And I think, of course, that says in moderation. That may be in the sense of how you normally have an emotionality or understand or perceive your emotions, Aries. You will feel you are lucky, you are balanced and lucky. So we'll move on to Taurus then. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Taurus, what is the vibe for the week? And it's the reversed Emperor. And I'm going to have to say, Taurus, sometimes other people have to get their ways. Once in a while, if you're being too inconsiderate, too selfish, you may not be able to get your way even longer than that. People may respond to the fact that you're overbearing. I get the feeling like this is coming from something emotional, of course, because this is our show here. And I think what this is saying is sometimes you have to loosen up and not be so controlling. So will you be lucky in love? And it's the Eight of Wands. And it says you're hitting your target. It says you are moving with vim and vigor towards what you perceive as your interest. So however you may define that, Taurus, you probably will be lucky in love. And now we will move on to Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Gemini, what is the vibe for the week? And it's the reversed Five of Cups. Gemini, you are feeling buoyed or hopeful because maybe a relationship or situation that you felt was not working out. Maybe there's a chance it will work out, or maybe you feel like certain situations are realigning themselves if it was about love or sharing or emotionality. Will you be lucky in love? And it's the reversed Four of Pentacles. And I feel you're going to open up. Opening up to maybe a more physical side of yourself. And so this could be talking about, more emotional passion. So I guess the answer is yes for that. Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is the vibe for the week? It's the reverse Seven of Swords. Cancers, you may feel that the vibe around this week wants you to be more vulnerable, more open to revealing things about yourselves, possibly in the hopes of being accessible to somebody you're interested in or some emotional situation you're going through. But will you be lucky in love? And it's the reverse Ten of Swords. Probably not. The reverse Ten of Swords says you are probably busy working with an aftermath, possibly of this situation. They're both swords cards. It feels like an unhappy time where maybe you're hoping to return to what it was. Not sure if that makes sense for you, Cancer. All right, so we are moving on to Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So what is the vibe for the Leo? And it's the High Priestess. High Priestess is upright. You're feeling very much in control of your intuitive abilities. You may be sensing the attention of someone that you're possibly involved with emotionally or that you sense is moving closer to you. It feels good, but will you be lucky in love? And it's the major arcana, Justice. So it's probably a maybe, because Justice sort of indicates that you're really, it's almost like this one in a way. In fact, it's a higher octave. They reduce down to each other numerologically. So the feeling is that this happens because you're able to be fair, harmonious, balanced. You're able to understand the emotionality between yourself and others that may be appropriate there. All right, so that was Leo. We now move on to Virgo. Sun, moon, or rising. Virgo, what is that vibe or tone or essence that's around you, emotionally speaking? And it's the Devil reversed. And the Devil reversed is maybe about really opening up, unoppressing yourself, freeing yourself from forces that maybe you felt oppressed you or maybe felt were keeping you away. In the context of the emotional exchanges, this could be about really opening up into your overall emotionality, sexuality spectrum. This could be about you feeling in a way you've never felt before, or maybe not in a long time, something you wish to express. And will you be lucky? And it's the Five of Swords reversed. This is the No One Ever Wins card, but it is a sword. It really doesn't indicate any chance of luck. It seems like things are totally not working in your favor for this. There's a lot of bad emotionality going on. It may or may not be in reaction to your freedom. Maybe this is what you're freeing yourself from. So I'll leave it at that for Virgo. And we'll move on to Libra then. Sun, moon, or rising. And Libra, what is that vibe this week? It's the Fool. The Fool is upright. You're feeling lucky. You're feeling like taking a chance. You're feeling like maybe, or you're not feeling, but it just may be that something unexpectedly is working out in your favor. But chance really favors you this week, especially emotionally. It could almost feel like you're just going to stumble into a whole new emotional situation you hadn't expected, but one that will somehow seem quite comfortable to you. If you're already attached, of course, this just could be about other things or situations that you have a strong emotional bond with. Will you be lucky? Upright Knight of Swords. The Upright Knight of Swords suggests somebody who's bold, daring, and really doesn't take no for an answer, is willing to move ahead to conquer what they feel they should be. So from that point of view, it sounds great, but it is a sword, and swords generally tend to be a no. The idea could be that maybe there's just too much of that that reckless spirit involved here. So I'll let it go at that. We will now turn our attention to Scorpio, Sun, moon, or rising. What is the vibe this week? And it's the Queen of Cups. Scorpio, this is like tailor-made for you. There's a great sense of emotional pull right now and weight. Everything seems to be really powerfully attuning and magnetic in some way to you. This is really your time. But will you be lucky? And it will come at a price. It's the Page of Coins, but the page is reversed. And so what you may find is that you will barely be lucky if you are, really at all. It may come at a price. You may have to try to find a way to put yourself somewhere where you normally don't belong. As a messenger, this could be harder than you might think, but maybe as a message it isn't. You are looking at the possibility of trying to just try your luck by being somewhere where you normally aren't. That is cryptic, but that is Scorpio. All right, we'll move on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is that essence or tone or thematic feeling, that vibe that's going around you, Sagittarius? It's the Tower reversed. Sagittarius, from an emotional point of view, you can be very egotistical and you may refuse to take no's for an answer, or you may refuse to understand things that you really do deep inside, but you don't really want to do that up front. And so you're bound to have a hard time this week because you're refusing to understand something that you actually do understand deep inside. And if this is about the emotions, then this could be about a situation that either you really want or don't want, but you don't understand what's going on really from that other point of view. Will you be lucky, Sagittarius? And it's a good maybe. It is the World reversed. It almost correlates with what we're seeing there. No, I'm sorry, it's the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Am I right? Yes. Number 10, it's the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Kind of a different look there for the Wheel of Fortune. You can always learn something. It's still a maybe, but the Wheel of Fortune reversed suggests that if it happens, there may be an unintended consequence. I can only leave it at that, Sagittarius. And we will move on to Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Capricorn, what is the vibe for the week, emotionally speaking? And it's the Five of Wands. And there's a sense here of competition with the emotional spectrum. So it could be that for those who are dating, they may find that this week in particular, it's a little bit more dicey. Maybe you're not hitting a home base at all with anybody, or others find that as well. Will you be lucky under those circumstances or not? And it says it will come naturally. It is the Eight of Cups upright. And I think it comes naturally because maybe you move beyond whatever this is, whether it's pointless competitiveness in a dating field, or whether it's anything else that suggests a busy or strident approach to relationships. You move beyond that, and that's maybe what can make you lucky. Good for you, Capricorn. And now we have arrived at Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Aquarius, what is the vibe for the week? And it's the Knight of Coins reversed. Things are like molasses, especially in the emotional department. It really feels like maybe there's just nothing going on emotionally speaking. Your prospects seem to be inert, or you yourself are. You may have a lot going on somewhere else. You know, we're getting close to tax season or things like that. Maybe there's Easter coming up, spring break, things that maybe are pulling us out of the dating field if we're young and single. But maybe for older people, this could just mean too that there's a busyness in life right now, and you don't have time for a more fluid emotionality going on. Will you be lucky, Aquarius? It says big maybe because it's the Lovers, of course. And I guess it all depends on whether or not you will make the right choice, but it seems to indicate that where love is concerned, and if there are choices, you're being safe and you're choosing the choice that is going to work out. So I'll just say, Aquarius, you are definitely going to be lucky, even though it should be a maybe. And now we are on Pisces. Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is the vibe for the week for the Pisces? Reversed Page of Wands. Pisces, you may be finding yourself a little bit despondent or annoyed because something you were expecting, such as an invitation or a message or a communication, it's not happening. And so you may feel like you're being, what's that term? Ghosted. So sadly, that may be what's happening for Pisces. Or this could even indicate, and this is a possibility too for Pisces, you are in fact being drawn to ghost someone. Will you be lucky? And it will come at a price. It's another page. It's the reversed Page of Pentacles. And I think that popped up here before, but it doesn't mean exactly the same thing. In terms of that luckiness, I think it has more to do with you wanting to be alone and maybe realizing that everybody is going to take you seriously on that. So be careful what you say, Pisces. It's always a problem, perhaps, with you that your emotionality really can flow off and onto people, and that may make you all too easy to read from others. I'm just saying. So that was the emotional exchanges for the week, and it was kind of a quick run through, but I hope everybody liked it. And I hope you'll be back next week. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you what's going on. This is the 4th, April 4th. Yeah, God, it's April 4th already. That's the anniversary of my brother's passing, too, as a matter of fact. Anyways, we will be back with Happy Hour tomorrow at 10 a.m. Get a divine, uplifting message of positivity at Happy Hour. Join the Tarot Tribe, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Sunday morning is Banshees Material Matters, and it's a recorded show, but we're live in the chat room there. That's at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday morning, so join us there. We give the full details of the astrological awareness for the economics of each and every zodiac sign. And then later in the day is our regular live stream from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can ask any question, and we will do our best to divine it. So that's it, everybody. I hope you take care, and we will see you next week.